Lane, who are you and what is the mission you're on?
I'm trying to make fitness information more accessible, fitness more accessible to everyone, and trying to act as a bridge between academic research and your average person, because so much gets lost in translation because social media, the news, it is a fire hose of information, a lot of which is misinformation or you only get part of the story. And so I have noticed people are so frustrated because they feel like they understand what it is to eat healthy. And then a new documentary comes out, a new podcast comes out, a new article comes out and says, oh, nope, you're doing whatever it is you're doing, it's wrong. And here's why. And I just want to help clear up some of that confusion and help people understand the big stuff that really matters versus not getting lost in the weeds of the stuff that just doesn't matter that much.
And when you say fitness, how do you define that? Because you then talked about diet and food. So what is the sort of bucket that you put yourself in? What are the categories that you really focus on?
Great question. But, I would say that my wheelhouse is nutrition. So I did a PhD in nutritional sciences. And I also feel pretty equipped to interpret exercise information as well.
And so that's your academic sort of background. Mm-hmm. What is your lived experience? What experiences have you had as a coach to people, as a trainer, in your own personal life that have added to that academic information that you have?
Great question. So I'll try to give the abridged version of this. I got bullied a lot growing up as a really skinny kid, hyperactive, weird, And so when you're young, what makes you stand out is actually, not such a good thing. And I got bullied a lot and I started lifting weights I thought if I got bigger muscles, girls would pay attention to me and I'd stop getting bullied. It didn't work for either of those two things, but I did gain more confidence, not because I built bigger muscles, but because the process of lifting and getting through plateaus and moving through setbacks and all those sorts of things, that's what built confidence. And I started lifting when I was 15. And when I got to college, I changed my major because I decided I was going to do my first bodybuilding show. I did it. I won the teen division and I was hooked. Mm-hmm. I was like, this is the thing I want to do. But back in, this is 2001. I was 19. I'm 42 now. The avenues to make money in fitness were basically be a personal trainer, open a gym, start a supplement company, try to be Mr. Olympia. And I didn't know how feasible any of those were. So I started looking at a PhD literally for no other reason. I had no idea what I wanted to do with my life, but I figured if I delay the real world by 4 to 6 years, maybe I'll have it figured out by then. But in that meantime, I had started posting on different bodybuilding message boards. And so I would get a bunch of emails about my articles and people asking me questions. And I was like basically doing full-on diets and nutrition for people for free because I just liked it. And then when I got to grad school, I was like, man, this is a lot of my time now. Maybe if I just charge people a little something, I can do this instead of a teaching assistantship, make a little bit of money, didn't really think much of it. And so I took my first online client back in 2005. And within 3 years, I was making a full-time income from it with no advertising, just word of mouth. And then in my fourth year, I think was the first year I ever made like 6 figures from it. I remember thinking, what is happening?
I want to take one step back.
Yeah.
Because